Hi, welcome to Kiddick's Corner. I'm Jerry, I'm your host, and it's time for Duran to go. You know how at Yankee Stadium they play that it's time to say goodbye music. If I had it, I'd play it. We'll get to that. I won't bury the lead. The Red Sox beat the Sacramento A's 5-4 last night, and it was a tough game for them. They didn't hit in the entire series against four weak pitchers. Very discouraging. They did win 3 of the 4 because they have a fantastic bullpen. That if they are close late, they can get zeros from their bullpen and manage to scrape out a run or two. But that's the way it goes. Sonny Gray, who was not really all that sharp, got his 13th win against 2 losses. ESPN had written that it was 12, but I'm almost positive it's 13. Chapman got his 26th save. That we all know for sure. And they were led by back-to-back home runs by Abreu, breaking up a terrible slump. And then on the following pitch, Contreras. So that was fantastic. Contreras and Rafaela each had 2 hits each. They could use that going into the Dodger series. We'll talk about that in a second. The defense wasn't very pretty last night either. They had 2 errors. One of them cost them. The other one didn't. The one that cost them was when Montecchio booted a ground ball, could have nailed the guy at third. He ended up scoring. It's an earned run, but they shouldn't have gotten it. And, of course, then there was an error by Abreu in right when he juggled the ball. The guy that was on first did not intend to go to third, saw Abreu juggle it, and then dashed the third, and Abreu threw too late to third. So the defense wasn't pretty. It wasn't really good the entire week. You know, this is 2 times now that they've played in really great hitters' ballparks, once in Colorado and once in Sacramento, and really didn't do much offensively in either place. And defensively, they weren't all that sharp in those places either. So maybe it's the ballpark. I won't make too many excuses for these guys. As I said, they didn't really do much besides, Greg gutted it out. You gave him 7 innings, a 4-run ball. Not exactly fantastic, but not horrible either. And they were able to rally back and win the game 5-4. Chapman came in. They got, once again, a hold from Weissert. So once again, we should be starting looking for Locust. As I always say, anytime he does well, it's one of the 7 signs of the apocalypse. But he's been better lately, so you got to give the devil his due, and hopefully he can continue that. Now let's get to Duran. Contreras singled, followed by a single by Yoshida in the 6th inning. Duran sacrificed them both, the 2nd and 3rd. I wouldn't have done that. And the reason I wouldn't have done that was because of Duran coming up next. He just has way too many swing and misses. It's really bad. But they did, and he had a shallow fly ball to left, which could not score Contreras. Contreras tagged, went a couple steps, and stopped. And Duran threw another one of his Duran tantrums. Run, he yelled. And then when he got to the dugout, he continued this. Look, he's gotten into it with fans. He got into it with a podcaster. And some of the things he says, I like Duran. I think basically he's a decent person. 2 years ago, he was a terrific ball player. But his frustrations as a ball player have leaked over into his off-field, if you will, behavior. The one thing the Red Sox have going for them is they're a united team. They're all pulling on the same side of the rope. And you can't have somebody pulling the other way or bringing people down. And we're past apologies for any of this stuff. The Red Sox have covered him for a number of years now. Look, Monday is trade deadline. I would be very pleased if on Tuesday he was no longer with the team. Not to mention the fact that he's just not doing it at the plate. And we'll harken back to last year in the playoffs against the Yankees. In Game 2, they had that game won if he makes a rather routine catch. He dropped the ball. A run scored. Red Sox got another run later to tie it, but then lost the game. They would have won that game with Whitlock and Chapman still available. So, look, best of luck in your next stop, but it's time to let him go. Now, what are the Red Sox going to do with the trade deadline? They want to do something big. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But, and one of the things about wanting to do something big means Franklin Arias, who I love, who everyone sees him play, loves. They're going to have to give him up. What do you give him up for? But really, Otto from Florida, Neto from the Angels. I just don't know that it's worth it to trade him for those guys. We can't really go with Montecchio the rest of the way in the season. That's for sure, but he tries hard, but he's just not good enough to be a regular everyday shortstop. And that, couple that with having Sigler or Sogard at second, really has a 4A feel to it. They're better than that, but not by much. So I don't know what they'll do. I hope they could pull off something big, something really grand, something that raised our eyes and said, wow, that was worth it. If they packaged Arias with Evenson and somebody else and got an Ella De La Cruz, that seems like more of a trade in the offseason, but if they could do something like that, that would be wonderful. I hear Bobby Witt's name. I just don't believe Kansas City has the courage to trade him. Yeah, you could probably offer him the entire Red Sox team and they wouldn't take that. So we'll have to wait and see. Catcher, there's been talk about Hunter Goodman of Colorado. I don't know about that. He's having one big year. And, while his numbers this year are a little bit better away from Coors, historically, his numbers have been better at Coors. So we'll have to wait and see. All in all, though, it was a good win. The competition last night, there wasn't much of it. The Yankees lost, Minnesota won, Tampa Bay won. So most of these other teams had the night off. I think Seattle played the Dodgers and lost. So that would make it a 2-2 game for the Red Sox. But all they have to do is keep winning. I asked for 6 wins before the series started. This 10-game streak, I said 2 out of 3 against Toronto. Check. I said 3 out of 4 against the A's. Check. Now all I want is 1 win against the Dodgers. I feel very good about Sunday's game with Jake going against to be decided. If they could ever steal one of the next 2, tonight will be very tough. I don't think they'll have Chapman available. And you've got Suarez going against Yamamoto. I think Yamamoto is in the top 5 pitchers in Major League Baseball. So it'll be tough to get a win there. But if they could ever steal one in Friday night or Saturday night's game, and by the way, I want to mention that I really hate West Coast games. I hate staying up late. When you get to be old like this, it gets more difficult all the time. So that's where we stand. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about all of this, how they did. We're getting closer to the trade deadline. Maybe we'll have a trade, and maybe we won't. So we'll have to wait and see. Yankees are currently leading 2-0 against the Cubs at the bottom of the 8th. That would be a nice win for them. They had Will Warren going, who's been shellacked a few times recently. And they've got an offense problem in New York, with Judge and Stanton hurt, and now Bellinger. Runs are going to be tough to come by for them. So there's still room for us or for the Red Sox, to catch them. And we'll see. I'd rather have a playoff series in Boston than New York any day of the week. That's our show. Once again, this is Jerry. This is Kenny's Corner. If you like the show, give us a like, give us a subscribe. And if you'd like, leave a comment. We love those. If we like them, we'll read them. So we'll talk to you soon. Go Red Sox.